This story is something I like talking about, and honestly, if I didn't have proof that it happened, I probably would have convinced myself it was just a nightmare. But it wasn't. It was real. This happened last year, during a solo road trip across the western United States, and what started as one of the most peaceful experiences of my life slowly turned into something I still don't have an explanation for. So, if you ever think about taking a long, quiet road through the middle of nowhere, you might want to listen to this first, because some places don't want you there. I'd been planning the trip for months, just me, my car, a tent, and miles of open American highway. I wasn't running from anything. No drama. No stress. I just wanted silence. Space. A break from people. So I took 2 weeks off work, packed my trunk with supplies, and started driving west. The plan was simple. Drive during the day. Camp near small towns, take pictures, enjoy the quiet. And for the first few days, that's exactly what it was. Quiet. Peaceful. Almost healing. I remember thinking, this is what life is supposed to feel like. But that feeling didn't last. Not even close. On the 5th day, I took a stretch of highway that cut straight through the desert. It wasn't a tourist route. No billboards. No rest stops. Just open land, mountains in the distance, and a 2-lane road that seemed to go on forever. My GPS showed almost nothing between towns for hours. And at first, I loved it. No traffic. No noise. Just the soft hum of the tires and wind moving over the car. But after a while, the silence started to feel heavy, like the world had gone empty. I realized I hadn't seen another car for nearly an hour. Not one. No trucks. No locals. Nothing. Just me and the road. That was the first moment I remember feeling uneasy. Not scared. Just unsettled. Like I'd somehow slipped off the map without realizing it. Around early evening, I pulled into a small clearing off the road. It wasn't an official campsite. Just a dirt area where people clearly stopped before. I set up my tent. Watched the sunset bleed into the horizon. And once the light disappeared, the silence became something else entirely. No insects. No whine. No distant cars. Just nothing. I've camped before. I'm used to night sounds. But this wasn't normal silence. It was deeper. Almost pressurized. Like the world was holding its breath. And then I heard it. Footsteps. Light. Slow. Deliberate. Somewhere just beyond the tree line. I froze. At first, I thought, deer, maybe. But the steps were to space. Too human. They circled halfway around my campsite. Then stopped. I waited. Nothing. No movement. No sound. Just that thick silence again. After about 10 minutes, I convinced myself I imagined it. But I didn't sleep well. Not at all. The next morning, I packed up and kept driving. I told myself it was wildlife, nothing more. But around midday, my phone lost signal, and it didn't come back. Hours passed. Sky getting dim. Fuel getting low. So, when I finally saw a faded sign for a lodging, 10 miles ahead, I followed it. The road curved away from the highway and toward a cluster of trees. And right there, tucked back from the road, was an old cabin-style motel. No cars. No lights. No movement. But there was a sign in the window. Vacancy. I should have left. But I didn't. I parked. Walked to the front desk window. Rang the bell. Silence. Then, from somewhere deeper inside the building, I heard a man's voice. Soft. Calm. Friendly. He said, "Be right there." Only, there was something wrong with the way he said it. Not the words. The rhythm. Like someone repeating a sound they'd heard before, but not fully understanding it. The door behind the counter never opened. Nobody came out. And then the same voice repeated, "Be right there." Exactly the same tone. Same pause. Same inflection. Like a recording. I didn't wait around after that. I got back in my car and left. But that voice, it followed me in my head for miles. By the time night fell, I still hadn't found another place to stay. So I pulled off into another clearing near the woods. Same routine. Tent. Flashlight. Quiet. Too quiet. I sat in the dark, listening. And eventually, I heard footsteps again. Same slow rhythm. Moving around the edge of the trees. I called out, "Hello." The footsteps stopped. Silence. And then, I heard my own voice repeat that same word. From the darkness. "Hello." Same pitch. Same hesitation. Exactly like me. But it wasn't me. Something out there was copying my voice. Very carefully. Very slowly. Like it was learning. I didn't sleep at all that night. I just sat there, waiting for the sun. The next day, I reached a tiny town. Population sign, 312. Gas station. Diner. Few houses. I went inside the diner. Mostly, us to be around people again. The waitress looked tired. Friendly, but distant. I told her I'd been camping nearby. She paused, then asked quietly, "Did you hear anything at night?" I hesitated. "Yeah, footsteps, and a voice." She didn't look surprised, just sad. Then she said, "You shouldn't camp out there alone." I asked why. She only shook her head. When I went back to my car, I noticed something chilling. My tent, which had been folded in the trunk, was gone. Nothing else touched, nothing stolen. Just the tent. Like someone, or something, took it? And I had no idea when. I should have kept driving. I know that. But something in me needed to understand what was happening. So, stupidly, I drove back toward the forest road. The same area, same trees, late afternoon light. I walked a short way into the woods, and there, placed neatly on the ground, was my tent, set up. Perfectly, like someone had taken their time with it. I stood there staring, and that's when I heard the voice again. Behind me. Calm. Measured, sounding exactly like me. It said, "I was looking for you." I didn't turn around. I couldn't. My body locked up completely. Then I heard footsteps. Slow, careful, coming closer, and closer, until they stopped. Right behind me. Silence. And then, breathing, slow dot unsteady dot to close, like something trying to understand how to breathe. I forced myself to turn around, but there was nothing, just trees, just emptiness. But the breathing didn't stop. It was right there, and I couldn't see it. I backed away slowly, and then, from deeper in the forest, I heard another voice. This time, a woman's. Softer, shaky. She called out, "Help me." And then again, the same exact way. Same tone dot same pitch dot same length. Repeated. Over. And over. Not calling for help. Just practicing it. Like a child repeating a new word. The breathing moved closer. Branches shifted. Something was there. But it wasn't showing itself. It was learning, mimicking, becoming. And it wanted me to respond. I didn't. I ran. I didn't care about the tent. I didn't care about anything except reaching my car. And as I sprinted, the forest echoed with voices. Mine. The woman's. Others. All repeating fragments of words. Not sentences. Just pieces. Copied sounds. Like a choir of stolen voices. And under all of it, that slow, uneven breathing, getting closer. I reached the car, locked the door, started the engine. And as my headlights cut through the trees, I saw movement. Not a person, not an animal, just a shape. Tall dot still dot watching. And then it stepped back into the darkness. Gone. I drove until sunrise. No music dot no stops. Just the road. And the memory of those voices playing over and over in my head. I ended the trip the next day. Went home, tried to forget. But to this day, sometimes, late at night, when everything is quiet, I swear I hear my own voice, whispering from somewhere in the dark, repeating something I never said, like a recording, like it's still learning, still listening, still waiting, and I can't help but think back to that silence, that heavy, unnatural silence, because maybe that wasn't silence at all. Maybe I was being watched the entire time. So, if you ever take a road trip through the American wilderness, and you find yourself in a place where everything feels too quiet, where footsteps circle your camp, where voices call your name, do not answer, do not talk back, because whatever is out there is listening, and it wants to learn how to be you. This is American Wilderness Secret. Some places don't want to be explored.